Welcome to the POS podcast, the podcast where we find the POS and a bunch of stories, or sometimes we just talk shit. And today I think it's going to be one of those shows because, of course, if you don't know the show, we find pieces of shit. If you do know the show, then why the fuck am I telling you? With me, as always, is the donkey of comedy, Bobby Tamburo, hanging out with me here. If you're not over on the Patreon yet, sign up for the Patreon. Get on over there to POS Podcast Patreon. Forget all the other bullshit. Oh, also, if it's Silk City hot sauce, give it to people. Blacks, whites, Chinese, whatever. They like it. Promo code POS. But let's get to our guest, Bobby.
I just want to clarify, not pedophiles. No Silk City hot sauce for pedophiles. They can be any race as long as that race.
Blacks and Chinese aren't usually pedophiles. Well, no, I guess Chinese are.
We don't know. We really don't know enough. We don't know what's going on in those camps. But what we do know is joining us tonight, not to be confused with the camps. You may have seen him in the movie Cuck Island. You know him. You love him. He wasn't the one getting cucked. It's Stevie Lew.
Thank you, Bobby. That's the secret of Cuck Island. But I know the website is cuckisland.com, so you're not wrong.
My bad. That's what I got from last night, the plug. I apologize.
Thank you.
Cuckisland.com wasn't taken?
No, dude. And it's great. Our tagline for that film is "Whose goo is in you?" So just fucking run with that one.
Who was the genius with the "whose goo was in you"?
I got to give a shout out. I actually have the shirt on here, The Secret of Cuck Island. My trauma buddies, I got to give a shout out to my boy Reeves Elliott and John Bergio and a bunch of other good dudes who put together that whole project. So check out cuckisland.com and it should be coming to a theater near you soon.
I'm just shocked that's not taken because Fuck Island is such a thing said, and so many people do parodies on things. They must have got it quick, but it sounds like something people would have just grabbed.
Right. Fuck Island. Wasn't that from Arrested Development? Wasn't that one of Job's, one of the developments he wanted to call Fuck Island?
Was it? I don't even remember that, but I just know it's what they call Epstein Island.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes, with the Chinese being pedophiles, there's not a lot of young Chinese girls. So,
they're all girls being young.
You beat me to it.
I beat you to it. Yes.
In my defense, I've been biting my tongue about whose website Cuck Island used to direct to.
Okay. Whoever would that be, Bobby? Whoever would that be? But Stevie, how are you? What have you been up to?
I'm hot as balls, Pat. I know you're in the Northeast. In New York City, it's literally like the gates of hell have opened up, and there are demons crawling everywhere. So I'm like fucking.
They're called black people, Stevie. Jesus.
Wait, is this not Wednesday on Cumia? What are you doing?
No, you said the gates of hell open. I was just making it.
And those folks, they're gonna buy that hot sauce. I heard that plug in the beginning, so don't go.
That's why I say not to. So they do.
Well, yeah, it's fucking 100. It felt like 103 degrees on the fucking. It's crazy. Like when you're walking down the sidewalk in New York City, when you're in the sun, you could feel like a 20-degree difference than when you're in the shade. So
I know I've been stupidly running in it. I've been running less distance, but I'm drinking water too. But I still want to run because less people are out running, so they're not bothering me. You know what I mean? But I still, it helps my head clear. So I do it, but I only run like a mile or two now. But it's still, when you're done, it's like nap time after. You know what I mean? You're done.
I've been trying to walk like a mile and a half before work every day, just to kind of like start the day on a different note than like getting out and rushing out the door. And I was out there today, and I was going one way around the loop I walk, and another guy was going the other way. And we passed each other for the second time, and he just looked at me and was like, "Man, why are we doing this?" And I was like, "I don't know."
But now, it'd be better if he said that, and then you guys just kissed.
That would have been awesome.
Why are we doing this? Why are we playing this game, Bobby?
Or what if he was like, "Man, give me your car keys"?
Yeah, why did he have an Australian accent like the one we're doing? Yo, man, I'm so Australian right the fuck now.
I don't know what happened.
Hey, man, you ever seen Hannah Gadsby do comedy?
No. What you know about Jim Jeffries, bitch? Bobby.
I can't believe they didn't get a season 3 of legit, but Louis got 7 seasons? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Just continuing the Australian theme, guys.
Oh, Bobby, the other day I told you about a movie I watched that had like handsome people that was no good, and then you just the gray man.
Oh,
and
that
then
great bit I had.
Man.
Yeah, what if it was the gay man?
Well, you know what's worse than that?
Okay.
Uncharted. Have you seen Uncharted, the game, the movie based on the video game?
Okay.
I was gonna say I know the video game. People are a big fan, but I didn't realize there was a movie.
This has Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, and Antonio Banderas.
Wow. funny. You said Uncharted. I usually say I sharded.
Oh, they say Uncharted.
I know. Usually I'm like, I just sharded. I just sharded.
Oh my God, this man's so gay. It's unchartable. He's uncharted.
Well, there's no off the charts anymore. Not in today's world. You can be gayer every day.
You call that a knife?
Wasn't that our
It's
guest
a cock.
theme from last night?
Cock Island.
Today's gonna be gayer than yesterday.
But dude, Uncharted I didn't play the video game, but I do know of it. I'm aware of it. I know what it's about. And anyone I've talked to has said it's a lot like the video game, but to the point where they treated it like a video game where almost like the plot gets developed by other characters just blurting shit out so you know what's going on next. Like literally one character does the other and goes, hey, you know, it's been tough, right? Since mom and dad died years ago and we've been orphans and we've been wanting to look for this gold. It's like, who the fuck talks like that? If your mom died, you wouldn't turn to somebody and talk like that.
My favorite is when they take that a step further and they introduce like amnesia or something. Because like clearly they had this other plot movie in mind and they got done. We're like, nobody's going to know what's going on. No, I have an idea. He has amnesia in the beginning. Go ahead, Stevie. I cut you off.
Why? But why are they making like movies and shows out of like really not that great games? You know, let's go for I mean, okay, Halo's out there. What about why is there no Grand Theft Auto movie or show out yet? How has that never happened?
Because of woke.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you make that. I would love it. How the fuck do you make that movie?
Well, I think I already saw that they've decided that the latest next one coming out is going to have a female protagonist. They said that
she's going to
already.
be awful. She's not going to be a fun, happy, woke person. She's going to be a murderer.
She's going to be like, I think like kind of like one of these Portland blue hairs. I swear to God, I think I read that. She's going to be like a lesbian Portland blue hair.
I would play with her. Like that would be awesome to get her murdered and and go into like go. Can you do January 6th? Can she go visit the White House?
That'll be a great. Yeah. Let's see if we can get that hack.
But the best part of the movie was Tom Holland's character at one point just has to show you he can bartend real good. So he's just doing bartending moves. And like, I hate any movie that has bartending moves. And he's like doing like the history. He's like, you want this drink, the Negroni? And he's like, do you know that one? He's like, do I know that one? He gives the history of the drink as he's doing like the worm with his arms and a bottle's flying off it. And he's spinning it and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And they did that. They showed it 3 different times because later on he gets in a fight in a bar so he could use the bartending moves to spin it. Like you could just beat someone up. It's like the worst. But I couldn't stop watching how bad it was.
And Mark Wahlberg's is Mr. Miyagi. Bottle spin behind the back.
No, Mark Wahlberg was just the regular Mark Wahlberg character of like, I'm going to double cross you the whole fucking time, but I'm handsome, so you don't mind.
It's a good Boston accent, Pat.
Thanks.
Yeah, much better than mine. I thought when you said it was like a movie, though, it was the movie was too much like the video game. It was just gonna be somebody replayed the same scene 7 times, kept dying. You just hear somebody yell, "You fucking cunt!" Then the screen shatters.
Well, there's certain things where you watch it and they so they have to climb into the ship, and like he stares and stares at it, and then figures out how to jump up and move. I'm like, that's from the game. You could tell somebody had to sit there and go, "Oh, pull on the cannon." And then do this. It's like they literally just stole from the game.
Slowly further in the background, you just hear, "Honey, get in here! I lost the game, and I'm gonna take it out on you." And then there's a baby crying, and just, "Oh God, please! Why do you keep playing those video games that they make you so angry?"
Is like the movie where he explains his abuse. He doesn't just hit her. He goes, "This is the time now where I hit you."
This is misdirected anger because of the video game. And poor parenting from my father. He really never taught me how to appropriately interact with a woman.
And then she goes, "I know I'm misdirected anger, and you're Mr. Directed anger." He punches the shit out of her.
It's a 30-second.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I mean, listen, you guys got to go back to the first video game movie of all time, right? That was A Birth of a Nation.
How was that? That was a good game. I had a cheat code.
Christ, that was the worst joke I've ever done, I think.
Oh, was it? I really did worse.
No, okay. So
the NPC is bringing America down.
Oh.
Yeah, what's the N stand for an NPC in that one?
What have I done?
Nineveh.
No, seriously, the first one that I remember was Super Mario Brothers. Do you guys remember that one with John Leguizamo and who was it too? It was a big
Which
fat
is
Italian
interesting
guy
because
there.
John
Captain Lou Albano
Leguizamo
was in the TV show, but
John
he was,
John Leguizamo was bitching today that James Franco's playing Fidel Castro and he's not Cuban. It's weird that John Leguizamo would then play Luigi,
an
notorious Italian.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Bob
Pat,
Hoskins?
don't you dare say the Italians
Thank
are the
you.
Puerto Ricans of Europe. Don't you dare say
It was
that.
Bob Hoskins. And also in the movie, he's adopted by Bob Hoskins. You kind of come to find that they're not really brothers. He's kind of like a guardian of him, Bob Hoskins. I mean, I
don't know
watch
if you
the
know how
movie
adoption works. That's not how you get a brother.
That's how adoption works when you're a plumber.
That movie, though, you guys had to check that movie out. I'm a big film buff, as you probably know. You got to check out because Dennis Hopper is the King Koopa in that film, and apparently he hated every single second that he was on the set, and he made that known, like even in his performance. If you go back and watch the scenes that Dennis Hopper is in the Super Mario Brothers movie, you can see he's just like, fuck this shit. I wasn't paid enough. What did I do here?
I hope that when he started being pissy and a diva, that like Key Grips would walk by and go, easy right. And he's just like, fuck you. It's like, he's dressed up like his dumb coop on it.
That's good, bud. That's a good one.
At least Bob Hoskins is like, I did less drugs on the set of The Wall.
That's right. He has to pull Pink up out of, he's the manager, the tour manager.
And he has to adopt Luigi.
Yeah.
What a weird life Bob Hoskins had.
In the 80s. Yeah. Shit.
Well, he was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, right?
Rabbit. Yeah. Yeah, man. That was a
He didn't act with people well.
Pat, do you remember like seeing that film in theaters possibly? Because we're right. We're in the same age group. That's before Bobby's time. That was like a fucking major event film for us as kids.
But it was weird to see how horny dads were.
Over Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah. And it was like, even as a kid, I'm like, it's a cartoon. And they're like, did you see that bitch? It's like, it's a cartoon lady.
And spoiler alert, if you've never seen it, but the way that Christopher Lloyd's character gets melted down at the end, that was like, it was on par with the Temple of our Raiders of the Lost Ark melting face shit. And
but it was even great. Just the way they combined that. Like, I know everyone looks at Space Jam as the thing that kind of did that, but to me, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was like at different levels of it. It was way better done. It was more, I believed it was a movie. Space Jam just seemed like a dumb thing for kids.
So I'm going to put my movie nerd dumb on the line. I'm almost certain that was Robert Zemeckis who did that film. And Zemeckis was the king of pulling off impossible shit. You know, whether it was Forrest Gump, where he was like putting Forrest in different eras. There's also one of my favorite, actually, this was a deep cut in the movie.
Making a time traveling retard was crazy back then. Like, you didn't do that.
Yeah. So, okay, a little less simplified, but there's a scene in the movie Contact where Jodie Foster, her father has a heart attack, and she's like running up the steps, and the way that
you ought to know by now.
Wonderful Billy Joel song, great single off of the album. No.
I was gonna say, if you do that, your autism is just gonna be what we do the rest of the show.
Because Bobby lately has been doing nothing but just in the middle of someone's conversation,
let's
putting
not
a
ruin
song.
Because I have a little thing with that later. So
good, it's gonna be more.
He's been doing it.
So Jodie Foster.
Compound. No, there's just the scene where Zemeckis pulls off this impossible. They call it the impossible mirror shot, where he makes it look like she's running into a hallway, and suddenly she's looking into a mirror, and it's like one of the most breathtaking. Like, as someone who's done some film production, how they pulled that off still kind of blows my mind. I've read how they pulled it off, and it still doesn't like figure out. So,
my taste for movies has always been a little bit like, I don't like the popular thing usually, and I think it's because the first movie I ever saw in the theaters was Time Bandits.
Oh,
which is a crazy thing because our neighbor, we were real little, but my neighbor, my friend and his sister, they were little too. My brother and sister, the mother just thought it was little people and fun, didn't look it up or research. Back then, there's no Googling. So she just thought it was a kid's movie. No one can ask that. We go in there and it's a dark it's fucking dark. And we loved it. We were like, I'm coming home and my dad's like, what are you talking about? There's midgets and they're in England. And it's like, God's there. He's like, shut up.
Yeah, that's Terry Gilliam from the Monty Python fame. That was one of his films. And doesn't fucking Sean Connery have a fucking really quick? Yeah. Oh no. He's also.
Oh no, he's also in
Time Bandits. He like had this one quick scene where he flies off on a zip line or something like that.
Oh, speaking of one dumb scene, back to the movie Uncharted. So I didn't play the game, like I said. I don't know anything about it. But in one scene, they're in a plane. They fall out of a fucking plane. A car falls out of the plane, hits them. All this. It's something that happens in the game. The Tom Holland's character and then the woman, they land in the water. They swim to an island. At the island is some guy sitting in a chair. There's a bunch of people there, but one guy sees them. He looks at them and says, "What happened?" Tom Holland says, "I fell out of a plane and a car fell out of a plane and hit me." The guy looks at him and says, "Yeah, that happened to me before." And then they walk away. And I'm like, okay, that's an Easter egg I don't get, because why would you do that? I look it up. The guy is the voice of the video game character. And they gave him the cameo just to say that one fucking thing. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Okay.
And somebody nerded out for that. Like,
that's for the kids. Yeah, that's for the super nerds.
Yeah, but the super nerds are not watching this.
But that's cool that you picked up that they were throwing something out there that your
It was too
radar.
forced. It was so forced that everything else, nothing was that planned in this entire movie. Like, it was all just so ridiculous. It was insane.
You're very perceptive, man.
Who had the impossible shot, Stevie?
Robert Zemeckis. Okay, here he goes.
Are you sharing it?
What do you mean?
What are you doing? Are you going to show us an impossible cum shot or something? What's going to happen?
He's doing a bit.
I just was trying to find out.
Yeah, bit's happening.
Shot. That's all.
I can feel it. This is more forced than that scene.
Yeah, Robert Zemeckis, the director of Forrest Gump, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Contact, the movie that I'm talking about.
Years later, Harvey Weinstein claimed that title with his impossible shot into a tree plant. He jerked off into a plant. I don't know. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
It felt like it was forced at that point. You guys all.
I feel like I could probably go jizz into a potted plant in like give me 10 minutes. Why is that impossible?
Do it in
because
front
some
of a
plants
star.
aren't hot.
Do it in front of a movie star and then get away
What
with
kind
it
of
for
plant?
3 decades.
Listen, do it out in this heat, and you're right. I may not be able to
You
get
jerk
one out.
off in 90-degree weather, but still chafe.
It's like 102 out there.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But it's the humidity.
Excuse me, Doc.
That's what it is.
If Gold Bond, if I put it on my dick, any negative side effects? Because that plant.
I hated that
real
movie
slutty.
so much. I wanted to find something else to watch, so I watched. And I'd never seen it, but I've been told it was good. It's a German movie, but Blood Red Sky.
I don't know that one. Is that old? Is that a classic?
I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's the first movie that I've seen that actually pulled off a genre switch in the middle of the movie where you're like, oh fuck, now it's this.
Okay.
It's fantastic. It's on Netflix.
You've never seen Mulholland Drive?
Yes, I have.
Okay, because that kind of does a little bit of that. A little bit.
To me, it definitely does that. But this does this in a way where you, even when you think you know what it's gonna be, you guess the genre wrong.
I like that. I like not seeing it coming.
It's well done. But I watched that in between watching. I binge watched the whole season of Sandman because I was like,
oh,
which is good, but too gay.
So let me ask you. I mean, now we're gonna nerd the fuck out.
I did read the graphic.
So is it just like the first book of the volumes, or did they do a couple of the stories?
They kind of cram a couple. They actually could have made. This should have been 2 seasons.
Okay.
10 episodes, kind of split down the middle, 5 and 5, when they really didn't have to do that. But they kind of gave you the whole build of him and how he became, how he lost everything, got captured, all that shit to get to where he was.
Do you meet all of his siblings?
Talking about
When you end it, Sandman.
Okay.
Sandman. Okay, I'm sorry.
Neil Gaiman, the famous
Gaiman.
He's such a
Dude, I do not like
Gino.
You are introduced to all the siblings, but you only get a focus on one.
I like
and
that.
We end this season knowing we're going to be dealing with Desire.
Cool. Same. You got me sold. I got to go watch it. Did
Really
you see
good. It's a fun binge.
Did you see The Preacher? I thought The Preacher didn't do that bad of a job because I'm also a Preacher fan.
I love. That's my favorite graphic novel. So
wow. Okay.
I hated. I was never a graphic novel guy till my kids were born, and I started that's when Avengers first started happening, like first Iron Man. So I started to read that stuff to go, I want to be on board and see these movies with these kids. So
Right.
I started going, well, it's getting darker. I never liked comic books, but like, let me try to read things. So I read The Moon Knight. I would grab ones that I thought weren't really well known. I grabbed The Sandman, and then I grabbed Preacher, and that changed everything. That's fucked up.
It's good stuff.
The TV shows were never going to be what those were because
Not
you
as good.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Same way saying GTA, they can't make a movie. You can't make a real Preacher. So if I never read the graphic novels, I think I would have liked the Preacher more. But because I did read them, I was wanting it to be something else. It was still good.
I hear Bobby trying to jump in.
Is this the same Neil Gaiman from that love story thing?
Possibly. He does also write novels. He's also a novelist. So
I don't think any of that stuff took off.
Right. Okay.
Neil
Hear me out now.
Diamond, you're thinking.
No, because this is what happened at the wedding I was at. I thought it was going to be Neil Diamond, and then this dyke came up and read this bullshit poem. And I was like,
that's what you said. That's not the same person.
It's not the same person. Okay.
No, it's not. Not a lesbian poet.
It's not. This is everything I have to tell you about love. Nothing. And then he goes on to spend the next 6 fucking stanzas telling you about love. It seems like you know an awful lot, Neil. Stick to the Sandman comics. Sorry, Pat. I get heated sometimes.
Pat, did you see the new HBO Watchmen series that came out like 2 years ago?
It.
Really? Okay.
Because I love the movie and I love the book.
Yeah,
but
it
had no source material though. That was all completely written out of the blue using new character. Okay, fair enough.
You know what bugged me about that series?
Too many black people. No, I'm kidding.
You know what bugged me about
it? You took the words out of Bobby's mouth.
No,
I think it's because I like the grittiness of the original, and I don't think they could go like. I mean, there was that was a movie where people didn't know about it at all, and you're like, what is this? Comic books don't have rape. They don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, it was a grittiness where they couldn't match it because it had to be woke.
Well, there was
you have the whole
blue phallic symbol in the movie that wasn't.
Yeah, I want big blue cock.
Yeah, but you know what bugged me about the TV show was I just had this nagging question the whole time: who watches The Watchmen?
Oh, fucking guy.
You want to hate it, Pat, but you know you don't.
I appreciate everything you are.
Okay, Pat, I got one more for you, and I want to see.
Hang on, that's what a chick says right before she breaks up with you, Stevie. So.
Oh, we were already breaking up.
Oh boy. It was all. It
Who's
was
watching The Watchmen? My man is.
Pat, do you know the Invisibles?
I do know the Invisibles.
Because I kind of wish I was invisible right now, being on this show with Bobby.
Well, if you see how many people watch it, you pretty much are.
Oh, that's fucking you son of a bitch.
But no, we are actually
unless you're Barb.
Yeah, Barb's on, dude.
Hello, Barb.
I don't know that. No, the numbers just jumped for Barb. I think somebody was trolling us. I have a feeling that somebody was pulling clips just because we had too many views too fast for no reason.
They got you good. They got you good with those.
It's my favorite thing. That's how trolls get you. Like, we're gonna just keep giving you views. Like, all right. It's like, but then we're gonna make clips of it, and piss people off. Like, one of the greatest things that ever happened to me doing podcasts, not that this has gone well, but just to enjoy it more and get better at it, was when the podcast Who Are These Podcasts, somebody suggested shit on Pat Oates before I was POS. And someone told me about it, and I listened to it, and I thought he was very funny, and I also thought he had some good points. So I shared it, and then Carl messaged me and goes, "Wait, you're sharing it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I think it's great." And he goes, "Like, no one's embraced this." I go, "It's fucking awesome." He goes, "Would you want to come on?"
You came on. Yeah. I remember that.
I've now been on like 5. I'm gonna be on next week too. But I've been on like 5 times. Great. But why not? It's embrace. He's doing his thing. It's what they do. Whatever. If you can't take it, whatever. So when trolls try to do the whole thing, it's like sometimes trolls have good points. A lot of times they're being assholes, but what in that asshole thing, when they get so worked up and they study you so much, that's the amazing thing. Take it as a flattering thing. They learn you more than like you haven't worn that hat in 2 years, Stevie. Like, how the fuck do you know? I didn't even know that. They're like, they watch you so hard. It's like, I'll take whatever they say because they're actually paying attention more than I am.
If somebody has a file on you, literally has a file on their computer on you, then I mean.
Yeah, and that's the only not kid porn file. You're like, whoa, I made it. I'm the adult.
Bring it all back around. I love it.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen The End of the World?
Yes.
That's my favorite genre switch movie because it does it like 3 times.
Yeah, but that.
I mean,
Yes,
that is
but
kind of
like,
the nature of his movie, but like there's that big reveal, and then have you ever gone back and like looked at all the layers of just art in the movie? Like the name of each bar describes what happens at the bar. Like they end up living out the exact same night. Like there's so much just levels of art in that movie. You're like, this is actually just a beautiful masterpiece in the end.
any movie with accents, I have to go back twice anyway, just to go, what did I miss?
I'll check that one out, Bobby. I don't know that one, so I
just
took a note.
subtitle everything now, too.
I think it was the last one Simon Pegg did with the heavyset guy he did everything with, Stevie.
Yeah, you like getting pegged. You like getting pegged, all right.
This is Simon, and this is my peg.
Do yourself a favor and don't do any research before going in. Just go in
I can do
cold
that.
and you'll enjoy it the best.
I can do
And
that.
I think that's actually on HBO Max, like in their top like new thing. They just added it again.
Nah, I don't
I'll
have
pop it
that.
on.
I have HBO Min.
Oh, man.
I got in an argument with a retarded guy. I mean, he wasn't really retarded, but he should be. Like, he should be legally retarded.
Still has time. Yeah, he still got time.
Because he just spoke to someone else and not me, but then I heard him say something dumb and I had to correct it. It was at comics and he was at a bar and I walked by and he was like going, yeah, HBO Max because it's bigger than the other ones. And then his friend didn't fucking chime in. And then I heard him say it again. And I'm like, you know that's not what it means, right? And he goes, yeah, Maximum. It's the biggest HBO. I go, it's Cinemax and HBO and they're together. He's like, no, that's first of all, it's called Skinemax. And I'm like, it's not really called that. And then the guy's like, you don't know shit. And I'm like, I'm not going to win, but what the fuck? Like, I got mad and I just walked away. But it was like, dude, it's the most HBO. That was his real thing.
Check out my gold medal.
You know, he wouldn't even win that.
Man.
He'd come in fourth and being a tard.
To be a fly on the wall at the bar of comics just all the time, let me tell you.
Be a retarded fly on the wall. Do they have those? Are flies retarded?
I don't know. Let me look that
Fucking
up.
stump me, bud. Stump me.
Are there retarded animals?
Yes. Kenny the Down syndrome tiger.
Yeah, but someone named him.
No, he actually had. That's why he had that condition. This isn't a joke. Hang on a second, Stevie. I'll show you.
Wait, why do they have to call him Kenny the Down syndrome tiger? They could just call him the Down syndrome tiger. Why does he have to be Kenny? Other tigers don't have names.
My cat's real
How'd he get in the zoo?
So,
Oh, because retards like the zoo.
yeah, they just put one of those spinny pinwheels out and just walk them right into the cage.
The best answer to your question, Pat, is because
He's feeding at the water hole like just watching his big old tongue.
He's not he's shitting into the water hole, and all the other fucking tigers are like, "No, Kenny, not again."
You can notice him from his sweatpants and his Yankee jacket.
Tucked in.
Of course, it's tucked in. Are you kidding?
the answer to your question is why they can't just call him Kenny the Tiger is when you look at him.
No, that's not what I said.
All you think
That's
is,
not real. Fuck
Yes,
you.
that is.
That's not real.
It's 100% real, dude.
That's a Chinese mask. I've seen that in parades.
That's 100% Kenny the Down syndrome tiger.
No, I didn't say why do they have to call him just Kenny the Tiger. I said why call him Kenny? Just call him the Down syndrome tiger.
Or you can just call him
That's
Corky the Tiger, right?
By the way, they should change the Detroit Tigers name to the Detroit Down syndrome Tigers.
R.I.P. Kenny.
I would buy that merch. Special fielders just like with that face, and Prince Fielder and all the fielders.
Oh, bad family. Bad family.
So fat. They were so fat. What are we doing?
Oh, more, yeah, cute. They're looking at Kenny and
I'm just showing I didn't make it up. It's Kenny.
Misproportionate
Wait,
eye distance.
This all looks Photoshop.
No, I've seen this before, and this guy definitely, he's got the
I've
downs.
seen Photoshops too. This is deep fakes. Somebody wanted to fuck a retarded tiger.
Nah, man. This shit happened.
Oh, no, that's the retarded weatherman that believes in that stuff up in Canada.
Imagine you're a photographer and you've trained, you've studied, you've learned, you want to film the wild, you're out there, and then you go, shit.
Somebody, yeah.
It's a Down syndrome tiger. I should just walk away, but I can't not take the picture. This is going to be who I am now. I'm now going to be taking pictures of Down syndrome animals. They're going to ask me to find more. I've got to do this. And he snaps the photo, and then They're like, what are you going to call it? I don't know. What's a retarded name? Kenny?
Isn't that the South Park character?
You bastard.
No, never
Jimmy.
I just did a
Jimmy,
Bobby
wasn't
joke.
No, that was a great joke.
Yeah.
I just feel really bad.
Who's watching the Down syndrome tiger?
Well, I really feel, I feel really bad though, because there was like one girl whose parents just took her to the zoo, and she got so much comfort out of seeing Kenny. And then when he died, she was like, "Do I die now?"
Oh God!
I thought you meant she was gonna go. Is he in heaven? And it's like, no, he's retarded. He's not in heaven.
Why would you even workshop that, Pat? What's wrong with you? You just let that one sit.
No.
There
I
are
wanted
like
to do that on stage.
There
We're
were like
workshopping.
7 of these with a halo, so like clearly that was an issue for some people with Down syndrome. Like, is he in heaven? Prove it.
By the way, I want to get. Is he still alive, Kenny?
No, he's dead. That's why there are all the photoshops.
Because I thought I could, if he was alive, and I could ever hit the lotto, I would taxidermy the shit out of Down syndrome Kenny. I would want that in my house as you walked in the door. And I wouldn't say a word, and I would just say, put your coats on the tiger. Not his face. Don't cover his face.
The Mirror got a little uppity about this. Listen to this headline. World's ugliest white tiger bred through incest in cruel bid to make money.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
No, that's what happens with dogs all the time. We just don't call them retards, but like
World's
pugs are retarded.
World's ugliest newspaper writes about tiger to make money. See, I can play that game too. In cruel bid to make money. That's me writing about the Post.
Was that the Post that wrote that?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the Post though.
It was the Mirror. It was the Mirror. Same thing. Across the pond.
I got a brilliant idea. Bear with me, guys. Okay, I want to start a new magical act in Vegas where I'm like the new Siegfried and Roy, but I have 2 Down syndrome tigers with me, and I just get bit every show.
That makes sense because
Well,
I think all magicians are retarded.
I was saying, you don't get bit. Your partner does, and it's Siegfried and Boy, and you just feed a boy to the tigers.
Ah, yeah, there we go.
Because you're Siegfried, you can't be replaced. You have a name. Boy is just a boy. You can replace Boy every time. But to be safe,
is there a boy in the crowd out there?
Yes.
Hoopla, right into the mouth.
You can get that 4-year-old who declared they're a boy, even though they're a girl now, and then all the trans people are like, yeah. It's like, how do you fuck what?
Yo, dog, watch out. There's a motherfucking tiger behind you. Yo, watch out. Ooh. We got white tigers. Can you guess what that bit was? What freedom?
You're real low, so I can't hear you that well. But
okay. Well, I'm coming in twice as high as you on our end, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Now you're loud and deep like James Earl Jones.
Have him do it again, though, whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah, you were racist, but you don't know how.
Yeah, it was like, yo, watch out. There's a motherfucking tiger behind you. Y'all ready to see some motherfucking magic? Can you guess what that was? Blank Freed and Royd? Stevie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say it, Bobby, but I got it. I'll text it to you later.
By the way, Bobby, take that first part of it and then Freed, and that's what they were at one point.
Oh.
Yeah, now stop complaining.
By the way, if we can make that buddy movie, N-word Freed and Roy, and Roy's just like his slave owner that like felt bad. He's the son of the slave owner, so they escaped together, but he doesn't know his name, so he just calls him Siegfried with an N, and then he's Roy, and they're friends.
And or if it was modern day, it would be Siegfried and Robbed.
Yes.
Sorry, Bobby.
Siegfried and Boy.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's the part we're canceled. I mean, I always wonder what's the one. Is it Down syndrome tiger?
No,
is it yesterday when I taught people how to steal babies?
That might be it.
Yeah, I gotta watch that episode.
I'm sorry, I don't even know. As I was doing it, I'm like, what am I doing? Why do I have this advice?
Is there a Lindbergh baby anywhere around here that's lurking?
Stevie,
it's not so much about how to do it. It's just which one to pick. Because I think as I said yesterday, most people would think, oh, you want to get a quiet baby because if you take it, then like it doesn't make any noise. But parents of a quiet baby are always checking on that baby because it's always quiet and they're worried. If a baby's always crying, you just get used to the noise and you let it go. So they won't even care if it's screaming as you're actually taking it.
Okay. Yep. They're like, you got that thing off my hands. Thank you.
No, they don't know it's gone. They'll still be mad, but they wouldn't even notice because it's just screaming the whole time as you're taking it.
I got
There's
you.
no change, right? You want one with colic. So it's really screaming.
Pat, you stay away from my nephews. I swear to God, Pat, you stay
Are
away
they
from my
loud?
nephews.
If they're loud, then don't fucking blame me. Tell them to hush up.
Oh, man.
First of all, a white baby male in this market, get out of here. I couldn't sell that.
Right. You're right.
They were cool
right,
like
man.
20 years ago, but no one wants that now.
Yeah,
Future is fucked for those boys. Yeah.
I need a 5-colored unicorn. That's what I need. We learned what unicorns were the other day. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, like a bisexual who fucks a couple or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody who's like, yeah, I'll come hang out with you and just doesn't show up. Stevie, new bit we've been doing. We've been trying to get to know our guests a little bit better. Can you just off the top of your head sing your favorite Eve 6 song?
Oh, is that wanna put my tender heart in a blender?
He
Wanna
went to
put
the
the
same
round
line
to
and
the
everything.
rendezvous when I'm through with you.
God, I love this bit.
Rendezvous.
That's the song that he wouldn't stop quoting yesterday throughout a conversation.
Don't worry, Pat. It carried over to today on the dump on morning.
Does Steve want to kill you too?
Pretty much, yeah. He came in and was like, I got some questions about Bobby. Like, he was listening to Eve 6, and then he knows an awful lot about Grease.
Oh, you brought in Grease too? Because Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, the queen.
She's not the queen.
Yeah.
How is everyone the queen when they die?
I mean, she was a dame. That's pretty fucking close to a queen.
I mean, she was a broad. I don't know about a dame.
No, she was.
She was a skirt, a floozy.
She was, what's the equivalent of being knighted? She was damed.
I was.
Do you
I
get
don't know, I
damed
tried to
by a
joke.
dyke? Do you get damed by a dyke?
Olivia Newton-John, yeah?
In it, John, in it.
Look at me, I'm Sandra.
Even if that's your thing, you got to know yelling "in it" makes you the dumbest person alive. In it,
Yelling in it is the dumbest thing ever, isn't it?
in it.
I also forgot that Bobby's parents were into late 70s folk rock, and she was definitely in that. Like, sorry,
she wasn't
Bobby.
folk. She was pop. Let's get physical.
Yeah, but I think like her back catalog, she was more of like Bobby's.
So actually, she was an Australian country star when she was discovered and brought in for Grease.
That ended different.
And the song "Helplessly Devoted to You" was only put into the movie. It wasn't originally in the musical because contractually she had to have a solo song. And then once in the States, she transitioned into pop, like Pat said. So
that was the same thing. That was the same thing with the dick in Boogie Nights. Like they weren't going to put that scene in, but then they were like, "Oh shit, it's contractual that they got to show that song." So
And that
same
song
thing.
was also Australian.
Same thing, same situation. It's funny.
Bobby, out of that whole fun fact you gave me,
Yeah,
the only part I liked is when you said Australian, then the first part of country.
Australian
also,
country.
Pat, who was wearing that dong? It was Mark Wahlberg to bring it back all the way to the fucking beginning, bro.
And that's when Mark Wahlberg stopped being racist.
That day?
Yep.
Oh.
When they let him have a penis, bigger than a black man, he goes, "You know what? I like them now."
Listen, Mr. Wahlberg, we can let you in the club, but that funky bunch you're hanging out with, we don't let them in here. They smell different.
The greatest thing, he's been in millions of movies, but the greatest quote he ever said is when he was beating up that Asian man.
Asian guy, he blinded an Asian man.
You Vietnamese fuck. Like that's not even 2 words you say together. You Vietnamese fuck.
He's like, I'm going to take it with a PH in the transcript.
He's like, I'm taking your sight. I'm taking your sight. Bam. How do they pronounce sight up in? Is it?
I don't think they say the word sight. That's too good of a word.
You're gonna have cataracts. You're gonna have cataracts for the rest of your life.
Hey, Donnie, I'm taking your vision. You fuck. Oh, is he even the worst Wahlberg? They're all terrible.
I like Donnie because he's just happy with who he is.
Now, but I mean, he was trying so hard to be his brother. He had to lose 80 pounds so he could just be the thing at the beginning of The Sixth Sense.
That's a good point. But from everything like I've heard in interviews with him and stuff, everybody who works with him just loves him and thinks he's the greatest dude ever.
Of course they are, because they're gonna say that. They're not gonna say anything bad. But you listen, if you're in a TV show with Tom Selleck and it's not Magnum PI, you're not doing good at acting.
That's a good point.
What else was he in though? He had one or two good.
He was in The Sixth Sense and Blue
Right.
Bloods. I think that's it.
He had some good vibrations.
Oh, he
No,
was in
that's Mark.
Dream. He was really good in Dreamcatcher, which is a really fucked up, crazy movie. If you've never seen that one, it was like universally
I wouldn't
panned.
say he was really good in Dreamcatcher. I think Dreamcatcher is one of the better adaptations of the books in that genre, and he was okay to be in it, but he wasn't acting great in it.
Dude, speaking of having a Down syndrome, that's like the guy Dunnitz, right? From
Yes.
Dreamcatcher. There's the Down syndrome guy, and there's also an monster. What more could you fucking want with the movie, Pat?
The Tiger.
Stevie, why do you know so much about
Down syndrome
movies?
tiger.
Yes, of course.
Bobby, that's great that you asked. I'm smoking this blunt over here, and I've got a new podcast, and it's called Blunt Smoker Video. And I would love for all of the folks out there in POS world to
Wait,
give
that
us
name sounds fun. What's it about?
So basically, me and my two trauma buddies, we will smoke a cannabis blunt and we'll watch a film and we'll break it down and kind of give our like opinion while high on the production value and little things that we see. So it's a really cool new idea that we put
Is it
together.
a watch along, or do you watch it and then record it and then tape?
Great question. I think a watch along is too much time
Yes.
for everybody. So what we
Too
do
much
is we do a 20-minute intro, then we start the film, we start smoking at the beginning, we start the film, and then take about a halfway break and do a little recap at the halfway point, and then do another recap at the end. So
Nice.
episode's about an hour and a half tops, and you can like sort of watch along if you'd like, but it's not a live watch along. So yeah, well, listen, Patty.
What's the first movie you're gonna watch?
So we did a couple of pilots, but the first one coming out is Natural Born Killers. So I had
You're
to do,
going like Main Street.
So, well, yeah, this is the funny thing. My two co-hosts are 30 years old, and they're both like younger filmmakers who haven't seen a lot of the shit that like you and I came up on because it's after their time. So I'm basically going down a list of a bunch of films that I came up on, getting really high with my friends and loving the shit out of, and I'm offering it up to them. Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? Have you seen it before? It's been a while. Let's watch it high. And Natural Born Killers was like a real easy pick for us. We did Kill Bill Volume 1 as a trial episode. We also did Batman and Robin as a trial episode. So
Well, when you go deep cut, suggestion, it's the
Go
only
ahead.
movie I've ever loved and absolutely hated at the same time, like equally.
go ahead.
Hobo with a shotgun.
Absolutely. Hobo with a shotgun's great. Yeah, man, we're trauma guys. So that's
That's when you said that. That's what I thought.
yeah, exactly. So we've got a bunch, and actually, I put Time Bandits. I took a note there. I actually put Time Bandits down because that would be a good one for them, because that's some shit that like guys Bobby's generation and even a little younger, they're not like, they didn't have Blockbuster Video, they didn't have video walls to browse, they didn't have the foreign section and shit. So there's a lot of like really obscure shit that I used to work at Blockbuster Video. That's where we got the name from, Blunt Smoker Video, when I was a kid. And literally the manager there was so cool. He would be like, just go get high. Just go get high and come back and run the register and like, watch a movie. And we used to be able to rent 8 movies at a time. So smoking weed and watching all sorts of shit was like what I came up on. So now we're bringing it to the world.
Oh, that'll be fun. And
I'm gonna
we had Blockbuster, but we also had Columbia House, where you could like just stare at like the 12 movies. You could just get movies and then not pay for them ever. And I watched so many movies that way.
Or what about the like the privately owned video store that had that curtain, that always had the.
We had in our town, Cheshire, we had Cheshire Video, and then there was
There
that
we go.
curtain that you would just go by.
You could always there was always one angle. If you like stood, you could look out of the corner of your eye like you were looking at movies, but you could try to catch a peek, and you knew that was not the hot zone. And if mom saw you in the hot zone for too long, she'd throw one of those clamshells at you.
I know when we were kids, we would laugh because we would know, like, it's just the town where everyone knew each other. So you would kind of know what people look like. So when you would see someone's dad's feet, like with the curtain, you're like, yo, Eric Vanderfleet's dad's in there. It's like, I don't know why
usually you'd see him in the men's bathroom on the highway with another pair of men's feet. But, this time he was just getting the tape. I get it.
Yeah, I'm a little older than you. Gay wasn't legal yet.
Yo, Joey, is that your dad in the porn room? And Michael, why is your dad with them? And why are they standing so close together, but front and back?
Why does it sound like they're cutting turkey cutlets?
Do either you know the comedian Jackson? He does a lot of New York stuff, but he's in the black circuit. But he's also
I was gonna say he's like cheeseburger.
Kind of, but he's way funnier than that. He's a brilliant guy. He's very funny. In one of like in an old video, Kevin Hart, when he first started, like grabbed Jackson and said, "This is gonna be the next guy." It didn't work out. That kind of sucks that you got that thing, but he's still brilliant. But he had a joke I used to love, where his mother was gay, but when he was growing up in the hood, no one would talk about that, and he was a kid and he didn't realize it. So that kind of Bobby was saying, he would hang out with this other woman, and then people would ask him, "Was like, yo, why your mom always hanging out with that woman all the time?" Like,
no,
aunt. It's like, why your aunt Chinese? And he's like, because she cold. Like, what? He's like, because she's cold sometimes. He's like, why they always hugging each other? Because she cold sometimes. Like, the answer to all lesbian questions when she's cold sometimes. It was looking so great. It was like,
why she always wearing a flannel? Because she cold sometimes.
Oh yeah, and like, why your aunt Chinese?
That's so crazy, that Jackson story with Kevin Hart. It reminds me of a story when I was backstage at Governor's recently with Bobby and Jim Norton, right? So Jim Norton actually grabbed Bobby in front of all of us. And he's like, "This guy, can you go get me a plate of French fries and some chicken fingers from the back?" And so
he was like, "This guy's the only guy has a child suck more dick than me."
I don't think that's true.
I didn't want to do.
The first we were doing a bit.
we were not doing that bit.
We're doing a bit. We sucked cock as a kid.
I think the first part was like a bit. The second part kind of hurt him a little bit.
Well, a kid cock is called a bit.
All right, let's triple down, Pat. I love it.
If we're already there, on kid balls, we might. Those are the worst balls. Why would you like those? Like, who would look at a kid's balls and be like, "Yeah"?
I don't.
Hey, you might as well go to lick dog balls.
That's the one problem I have with Sandman. Not spoiler or anything, but there's a character that is a predator, and they really focus on him. It's a couple episodes, and you're like, bro, it's like you can pull back a little on this.
He's creepy as fuck though. That was well written.
Oh no, and they did stick to a lot of it. So I was kind of shocked at the stuff they allowed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like so
it's a WB thing. But
I got pulled off before with the Watchmen, right? Like they never got to do the whole freighter sequence, with that side story about the dude on the ship, which that never got to enter into the movie at all. Which, I mean, obviously you only have so much time on screen, but also didn't the director of that movie fuck a bunch of little boys?
Yeah, a whole bunch, the most.
Yeah. He was sucking a bunch of bits, like you said.
A bunch of bits in it, a bunch of bits. In it.
Who's watching the director of The Watchmen?
There he is. There he is.
I'm done. I gotta get
baby. Jim Norton was right. You should get chicken fingers.
Oh, get Bobby a plate too next time though, because he's a funny. He really is funny.
Every 1 out of 10, baby. They call it the machine gun.
That was good. You're good.
Well, it's weird with this. We'll finish up like with the Sandman thing. It was like because DC is going so. I don't know if you know this, but like with the comics last couple years, they're going so hard with Constantine, which is crazy. So they're trying to like get into that whole world, and it's just like I understand you want to try to do the thing, but like I don't know. Constantine's a one that like I don't think the whole world's gonna jump on if they try to go for real. It's fine with the comics themselves, and they're doing like the the Justice League Dark and all that stuff, but it's just like. I guess they're just trying to grab us on the next big thing somehow. Constantine was already done with fucking Keanu Reeves. Then again, Green Lantern
right?
and Hulk were done 12 times, so you did it right. You know what I mean? So it's like
when was the last Spawn? Because that I think is time. Yep. It's time for a new Spawn if they haven't done that. Because speaking of John Leguizamo, bro, we are fucking on like.
But Spawn was cool looking at the time.
Amazing. Yeah. No, that film was great.
Ready for it.
Yeah, no, that's an underground classic. That's a cult classic. Everybody loved, especially Leguizamo's, the Joker character, whatever the fuck that thing is.
I mean, same thing with Daredevil when Affleck did it. It's like it was what it was for its time, but then they did it again way better on Netflix. It's like so you could do it again, but I just don't.
You should do it with Constantine. Bring him back.
I think it's hard to redo anything that if at this point Keanu Reeves did it.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Did you watch the show?
Oh, you mean the TV show?
Yeah, I'm saying bring the TV show. I thought that's what we were talking about.
Oh wait, you talking about Daredevil or Constantine?
The TV show Constantine that we
No,
left
I
off
watched
halfway.
some. I did not enjoy it.
Oh, really? It was my favorite.
Of all times, of all shows?
Of all the superhero shows, yeah. I was a big Constantine fan. I didn't like the Keanu Reeves because he wasn't... Did you read the comics?
Oh, no, I didn't like Constantine either. I'm just saying they shouldn't do it. Let it be the comic book. Please don't bring this back as a movie. That Ghost Rider shouldn't be real movies. Some things should just still be cartoon.
So I heard that Bryan Singer wants to get involved with the Constantine project because it's Constantine.
Yeah, it's all teen. Constantine. That's what it's called. Constantines. Bring them.
Oh, God.
As I thought this was supposed to be hell, but I'm in heaven, obviously. No, Bobby, I agree. I love Constantine, but I don't think they've ever got it right, and I don't think they're gonna. Same thing with the Hulk. You just never get some things right. Some things have to be cartoon.
Yeah, the Hulk should just stick to porn.
Hulk porn. That's it. And that She-Hulk's gonna be garbage.
You're gonna make me come.
She-Hulk's gonna be just as bad as that fucking John Cena one.
What was the John Cena? Oh, Peacemaker?
No, that was, oh my God. You like Peacemaker?
Okay.
That's Kenny the retarded fucking tiger of goddamn movies. That's like they were trying so hard to be Guardians of the Galaxy meets what you call it?
Deadpool?
Suicide Squad.
All that shit. It was just, I'm saying like comedy wise, that's all Suicide Squad's tried to be anyway. They're trying to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, Ryan Reynolds. They're trying to be all snarky, and it just Cena did not pull it off. That was just garbage.
Yeah, but I thought Foxy Shazam was pretty heavily featured in the first episode, and that's enough to win a series over for me.
Yeah, Pat, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. That's also that because you know what I gotta say. Just bottom line is that's a James Gunn production, and that's an old Troma guy. He used to work with Troma. He was Lloyd Kaufman's assistant, so I can't go against my brand whatsoever. So I gotta say, I have to just respectfully disagree with you about the.
You should have been a priest with that kind of defense. I can't go against it. I know that guy fisted all the boys, but he's my boy. We're
James
together,
Gunn's
so
the man.
keep on fisting.
I've never met James, but I hear great things about the guys who did work with him. So
I hear one bad thing. It's called Peacemaker.
He just kept fisting me and saying, "Turn the other cheek."
Isn't it?
Turn me cheek, isn't it? Governor, all of a twist. Let's make that, but all kid fucking. All of our clothes off. That's the name of my show. Bobby, you got anything else dumb?
That's pretty much what I had, and I don't think they're always dumb. Sometimes they're insightful.
I meant it in a fun way. You're not dumb. You're brilliant.
Well,
I knew you'd like Constantine because it's got God shit in it.
Hopefully I'm brilliant enough to make you a time machine so you can go back 2.5 minutes and not hurt my feelings.
Oh, stop it. Whatever. Why don't you go back a couple months ago and bring Frank back, asshole?
I could just wait 10 minutes and bring him back, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, no. Don't seance Frank. All right. Now, I know you got to get running, Stevie. So...
No, I'm rock and rolling. What we got?
We had good stuff there, but we're going to have you back on as always. But
what's the POS? Do we have a POS of the?
We did so much POS the last one. Once he said you were going to be the guest, I would rather just talk shit with you.
That's a wonderful thing, Pat. Thank you very much for having me on, buddy.
Yesterday we had to pull teeth. So no, he was great.
Once he loosened up, though, he was great.
He was great, but like. Bobby and I have now come. The thing I said that always made me nervous about Anthony Cumia being on this show is now what I've adopted here, which I shouldn't have done. That everyone always told me that when you're on Cumia, if he keeps going to his notes, he's not enjoying conversation with you.
Right.
And but the last time I was there, he went to his notes a lot, and I've been on like 10 times, and I'm like, what the fuck? And Bobby like right away goes, dude, he has Gavin on tomorrow, and now with the new schedule, he can't get to those stories, so he wanted to get them out. You were doing fine. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. But now. We Bobby and I've told ourselves we're going to do one like POS story heavy show, and then the second one of the week do one where we can banter more and throw one or two in. But if I don't need to go to the stories, what's the point? Now,
I didn't want to make sure that you were
movies nobody cares about, but
cool. I just didn't want it to be on my account that you guys are trying to cut it short. You guys are
if anything, you for the first time in your life, Stevie, you were engaging. So Everyone else watching this hates you and I anyway, but separately, but together they've got a
well, I know if I need a sponsor eventually one day down the line, I know who to call, I think.
Coke City Hot Sauce. Don't watch that movie.
No, but thank you for giving me the shout out. Thanks for Bobby to tossing that softball up for me to hit about Blunt Smoker video. You know, if folks
where's it going to be on YouTube, on
we're going to put
audio,
Spotify, all their. So my buddies over at the Fantasy Shed, they're Trauma guys. Fantasy Shed, they do a show called Totally Tunular that's really awesome, and I'm jumping on their network to get this started because two of the guys are together with that. So I appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, I had some crackhead from some social media thing just going like, "Hey, you want to be on my network?" I'm like, "You have one?" He goes, "Thinking about it." I'm like, all right.
It's not a good business model there.
Yeah,
but,
just like don't even you have no followers, nothing. No, like I'm you in though, bro? You in it? Isn't it good idea?
Listen, Pat, I don't think that you necessarily need to get high with us to maybe be on an episode one of these days. So once we start getting guests on, I'll definitely keep you in mind. You clearly showed me that you have a very worthy knowledge of movie and.
Ooh, it's like The Bachelor. I got picked.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes. Here's your rose, but instead of a rose, it's a lit blunt.
Well, I don't get high often, but I would for that show.
Oh, then you're in. You're in on that one. So we'll talk, buddy. Yeah.
Of course. Bobby, what do you got to promote?
See Stevie and I and Mike O'Donnell, hopefully, this Sunday at the Brooklyn Comedy Club, a.k.a. Old Man Hustle.
Oh, that sounds fun. The three of you guys?
Yeah, please. If anybody's in the tri-state area, we could really use the help. August is not the easiest month to pull seats. So if anybody out there could come see, Bobby's going to host. He's going to have a bunch of time. I'll do a full set. We've got actually a really cool lineup. I got Mia Faith Hammond and Julio Diaz, who was just on the Netflix Is a Joke Festival. It is on Netflix now. So we got a nice little lineup there. I've met
Mia before. She's very funny.
She's very funny. She was the first person I picked for this setup here. So if you're looking to see some really oddball, hysterical comedy, Bobby's hosting, like I said. So that should sell you already. Folks, please come out if you can.
And if you ever need another oddball person, I wouldn't mind coming down there sometime too.
They're giving us basically the opportunity to do it as a monthly, which was more than I expected. So I will absolutely be giving you a call ASAP. I could probably get you on the next one, even Pat.
Whenever. It'd just be fun to do a show with you that's not in someone's fucking backyard.
You've always been so good to me, buddy. I definitely owe you a bone here. And we've got a nice Bobby. I'll tell you, every show has been fun. So
yeah,
please come
great.
Enjoy the fun, folks.
And Mike O'Donnell is a beast, and if you haven't seen him yet,
I love Mike. No, I love Mike.
Oh, great. So,
and if you enjoy Stevie and I together, make sure you check out the new Davey Max Sports program. We just actually launched one today with no one else other than Stevie Lew. So he's been making the rounds lately, and it's been a lot of fun. It's back. It's better than ever. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you head over there, check it out. It's just on YouTube free. And while you're on YouTube,
EastsideDaveCountry.com.
EastsideDaveCountry.com. That's what the site is?
He has a website.
That's his site. Yep.
Yeah, you can get all of his stuff.
Give Dave a shout.
But while you're on YouTube, if you go through YouTube, check out our stuff and do me a favor and check out the first one we did together and just look how far the podcast come together and growing since then. It's amazing. I was doing that the other day looking for some clips, and frankly, what we've grown into is really cool. I'm really happy with what we've done. Not that the other stuff wasn't great, but new stuff's really been good. So check that out.
Remember at the beginning when we were told that it could be on a different network and we had faith and hope? Look at us have hope and then watch it go away and then come back.
And then go away.
It came back.
And then come back.
By the way, I just redid the playlist. So every episode we already did together that's not on the Patreon is now on there on YouTube too. So you can watch all the way in order.
Check it out. And if you want to see the ones too hot to make the YouTube, head over to POS Show on Patreon.
POS Podcast. POS Show is probably some kind of like peep show for shitheads.
Maybe check that out.
If it's a better Patreon, go there.
Yeah, see how many followers they have.
More than us.
Then tell their people that they're following the wrong one and come to ours and see what happens.
I'm not going to promote shit. I don't care. I've got shows coming up, but you're not going to go.
Fair enough.
I know you. You're sitting on your couch. You don't move. We appreciate you, but you're really not mobile. You're kind of like gross. What was that movie called? Wally? What was it called?
Trainwreck.
No, Wall-E. Remember Wall-E, the movie about like
animated? The
animated one. They go up to space and they're so fat they can't move. That's what I think a lot of our listeners are. They're just they got like tubes in them and they can't move, but they're focused, and that's what matters.
Yeah. Or like the movie Misery, where they've had both of their legs hobbled by some psychopath. I feel like that could be some of your listeners also.
Right, and then the other ones look like Kathy Bates. By the way, they should make Misery, but just a retarded Kathy Bates. They should have Kenny the Down syndrome tiger be Misery, and he just cuts people's legs
That's
off.
her pet.
Yeah.
Yes.
They call it
stay, you get fed to Kenny.
James Caan. Like, stop calling me James Caan. My name's not James Caan in the movie. Okay, James Caan.
James Caan is dead. He's been dead for like a month or a week.
James Caan dead. Also, I'm dead, according to Bobby's story.
Oh, man.
And that's, I think that child's dead now, too.
Probably.
Yeah. Rest in peace, retard. Rest in
You
peace.
shouldn't put them that close to tigers. They don't understand.
I'm gonna get a car where I can write soap on the back like Puerto Ricans do, but like just write "Rest in peace, retard." But then put like hearts around it. So people are like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, that was their nickname. What was their real name? Retarded." Their nickname was retard. R.I.P. retard. They'll probably think it's French.
Yeah.
Retard. It's a French word, according to a bit I used to do. Anyway, about retards. So, Bobby, if you got nothing else, Stevie, once again, thank you. Good luck with the new podcast and all that good stuff. I can't wait
Thanks, Pat.
And Bobby,
If you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.